Hello, how are you getting on? My name is Frank and I'm doing this longevity and fitness channel specifically for all of you who are over 50 and willing to come out fighting in the second half. In my earlier video, in my last video, I did a very basic one starting off. That was inside my kitchen and I just did some very basic exercises, so it wouldn't be as daunting to get into this fitness thing. We do want to see fitness and all these exercises as some kind of a punishment, right? Okay, so here is an example of what I'm getting at here. We want them safe. We want it simple. When I say safe now, I mean safe for your body and safe for your ability and safe for your age. And you'd want to make the comparisons to yourself and nobody else. Now, simple, when I say to simple, I also put into that bracket as well, convenient, easy, because, you know, we want to approach all the exercises. If there's something in your backyard that you can stretch off of or sit up and sit down on, by all means, use that. Okay, then we want it like scalable. That's a bit maybe heavy duty for the time being, but we definitely want it relevant to ourselves. And also there has to be some reward in it. All right. So in the last video, if you look at it, and by the way, with these videos, I'm trying to do these in a series. So the first series I'm doing about maybe 4 or 5 episodes related to a beginner starting off. Like if you never lifted a weight before, if you find going to the gym a little bit daunting, you know, or if you find that you don't do, that you maybe just did some walking and people might be saying to you, oh, you should maybe lift some weights, or maybe you should focus on your mobility or flexibility. That's what I'm trying to do, break it down, because I found this a bit daunting myself. All right. So this is what I normally do with a beginner when they come into me. And remember, I just specialize now in over 50s and over 60s, and I've got guys, I've got one guy in particular. He starts at 63 and he's 70 odd now, and he's almost as good as myself and as disciplined as myself, and it's great to get that type of pressure on myself here. All right, so in the last video I did mountain climbers, I did wall press ups, and I call them wall press ups because they're easy. I did tricep dips. But I didn't do these. I did the squats and I did these. So that would be more or less the top of your body, these guys here, and this would be your legs. And in this video, I'll try to cover some of the ones related to your abdomen, and that will be your whole body then. And when you get older, in case you didn't know the terminology, for example, you'd want what's called compound movements when you get older. A compound movement is something like that you would do every day when you're lifting your groceries or climbing a stairs or lifting your kids. You'd want to squat, you'd want to push, and you'd want to pull, and you'd want maybe an overhead press or something like that, and that's it. The you know, those isolated ones, like, you know, the bicep curls and those small little ones, you don't really need them until you get going, all right? But really the compound exercises, the big ones, large muscle groups is what you want. All right, so I'm going to start now. I'm going to recap the mountain climbers, the wall press ups, and the tricep dips. Here we go. So you've done your warm up, and here we go. So you put your hands like this. I wouldn't flare out the elbows like that. I'd keep the hands a little bit like this if I could. And there you go. There you go. There's your wall press ups like that. And again, you can suit yourself. Keep your legs straight like this. If you wish, you can hook one leg on the other one, or hook it like this, and you can vary that. But that's the first one. And the second one is this one. Okay, mountain climbers, that suits me fine now. That's comfortable for me. I just lift my leg up, get a measure on that one there. Once I'm nice and comfy, obviously don't fall. Let's do this pretty balanced there, and then off I go. And I would do 20 of each one of these. For example, 1, 2, 3. Nice form. Form is a big thing. Like if your bum is in the air with this, that wouldn't be good. I'd keep that straight like that. Lift your knee up, and even if you walk that, look, if you do that, if you really get into that, and then you can increase then, like that. They count up to 20 on those ones there. 20 with each exercise would be about This is a lovely one. Down, stretch, and back up again, because that is a good one. Up and down like that. And I would do 10 of these. And they'd work your triceps now. That's the opposite one now to the press-ups. There's your triceps at the back of your hand. maybe 10 of them. Nice form again, nice form again. Don't be all over the place. Don't lean on one side like this. Just do, and if you can only do 6, do 6. If you can do 12, do 12. And that's it. They're called the tricep dips. Now, when it comes to your legs, I would do backward lunges first. A backward lunge would be like this. You stand like that and move your leg back. Keep your body straight down and back up again. A backward lunge is safer if you're starting off than a forward lunge. That's a forward lunge. If you do a backward lunge here, your body is in a position where that toe is sitting there, and you can control that a little bit better, like that. Okay, like this. So you're going to go down and up. That's a backward lunge. Now, when you do a forward lunge, a common mistake you see people doing in the gym, they come forward like that here, and there's a sudden shock on your knee like that, like this. And if you watch me going towards the camera, you'll see that I kind of lose the alignment, and you'll see like 1, 2, 3. And if there's a weight in your hand, that means your form is going all over the place. So the backward lunge is fine, but with a forward lunge, I would do something like this. I would have to, like this, and I would nearly hold on to a wall like that. And I would get my leg in a position like that. So there's the lunge, because that's what I'm doing really. I'd go down and I'd come up. See, I'm just holding onto the wall for a bit of balance. I'm going down and then coming up. So I'm just pushing off that front leg. I do 6, 7, 10 of them, or 5 of them, 5 in each leg, but nice and controlled. See the way my body is up like this? Not that way, body is up. That's it, on that front leg. 1, and come right up. 2, that would be a forward lunge. So you got your backward lunge and you got your forward lunge. I wouldn't add any weight yet, but I would put a lot of emphasis in your form. You'd hear a lot of guys saying, watch your form or your body alignment, that you're upright like this all the time. Because when we're walking, when we're standing, we need to be standing a little bit like this. We want to get away from that type of bent over body alignment, like standing a little bit like this. Or sometimes we'd have a habit of standing like this, especially as we get older. I'm going to cut that out. Now I'm going to talk about a squat. I used to hate squats. It was one of my pet exercises that I never liked. I didn't like the way I felt. I felt awkward about it. My legs didn't want to do it. I didn't mind the top of my body, and we all have those pet hates. So what I had to do then is I had to devise some ways of, make it a bit convenient, make it a bit easy, simplify it, break it down into chunks. The easiest one, in my estimation, is sit at the end of a chair like this, because you're going to have to get up anyway, and go straight up like this and go back down again. All right, and even if you never did exercise, sometimes you have a habit of doing like this, and you get up like that. You see some people when they get older, they might lean on one side and getting up. So you're out of alignment there, and that will tell when you get older. Remember, when you're 50, you're training for your 60s, and down the line, 60s are training for your 70s. So here's a good one. Sit at the end of a chair and just come up straight and go back down again. And do this again to suit yourself. Do 10 of them. This fella now should be building up for you. So you should have your legs, you should have the hands, the push-pull. So now we're here going to the legs. Can I just stay with the squat just a little bit more? Now, what I've managed to do myself is, if you put a block like that, look, right? There's a block like that. I'm a carpenter by trade. So that's a 4x3. And I put my heels here at the back of the block like this. So I'm after elevating up my heels now like that. So I'm like that. So as I go down now, that will make it easier for my ankles and for my knees and for my hips, obviously, to hold me there. And that's relatively easy for me now. And I'm coming back up again. All right, there we go. Out again and down again. That's relatively easy for me now. I had to work to that. Now, if I had to make that a 3x2, which is smaller again, that's a small bit of a challenge. And I can feel that there now when I go down on this one. I can still do it, but I can definitely feel the stress now on my ankle joints and the back of my Achilles tendon here. And my balance is a bit distorted, And I can feel that there now. You can hear my knees saying, stop, Frank. So that's another little trick that you can make it easier. All right, so now we come to the problem area, roughly the abdomen and maybe your side obliques. So I would definitely recommend this one first, even for the sake of your spine and your posture. It's called a cat-cow. So you put your hands like this, not too close like that, and like this. Now imagine if there's someone sitting in the middle of your back like that, and you're going down. So you're going to put your bum is going to go in the air, but you're going to press the middle of your belly button down to the floor, and you're going to look up like this. Can you see? Look, I'm like that now. You mightn't think much that at the first, but there's something happening, right? And then you go back up and you stretch it all the way back up the other way then. What I'm doing now is, I'm now pushing my belly button up high, so the middle of my back is at the high point, and then I come back down again. And there I go. I can nearly feel that now, like up and down. So I'm up, and I'm down. And I'm up. Now I'll cover this one as well. This is a crossover exercise, this one. I'll cover this one as well. My next video will all be about warming up properly and getting some mobility as well. And in these, so I'm doing, in each series, I'm doing about 5 episodes in each one. So that's the cat-cow there. I got carried away there. Sorry about that. All right, so that's the cat-cow. I'll do about maybe about 10 of them. So here's one that you can do after the cat-cow position. Put your right leg behind you like this and put up your right hand like this. Right, now you can, if you like, bring it back, touch this and bring it back up again. That would be 1. That would be 2. Alternatively, you can just hold it there for maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and put it down. And then it's always, look, the alternate arm and alternate leg. All right. You can, like I said, you can just touch this and bring it back up again. So that's really crosses the whole abdomen there. That's called bird dog. All right. Funny name, bird dog. We're on our back now for the next few exercises. We're going to get our heels up here as close as we can to our bum, and our hands are on the floor. And we're going to elevate up our hips until they are in line with your knees. You're like that. Okay. If you can do that, that's called bridging or glute bridges, because they're called your glutes. Underneath your bum. There you go. So you can push that out like this. So there's a load of variations with this one. Dig your heels into the floor, hold it up there, and you can put it back down again. You can hold that exercise. You can hold it, or you can keep it up. So like maybe that could be 1, and leave it down slowly, and again 2. You can vary that. If you find that easy enough, you can put your hands behind. That slightly gives a variation on it like this. You know, you can get it like this, but that's the safest one to start off. You want these doable. You want these like that you can do 10 of these, maybe 8 of these in your own circuit, in your kitchen or in your garage or wherever you have. Maybe you have some kind of a budget gym or whatever you've got going there. But try to put all these together, and then we can start measuring them out. So that's another. These are just examples, and these are the abdomen examples. I'll give you another few there now. From the glute bridges, we were like this. We can go straight into the bicycles. This is a relatively easy one, but nonetheless, it's good. A lot of people, when they do these here, they go like that, more or less from the knees. So you see, like the knees are flapping around mad, and there's not much movement in the hip. But if you get the hip going like that, so it's going round like this, round like that, round. So I'm moving as much as my leg as I can. So my leg is around. I want to move my ankle, and I want to move all as much as I can. I'm relaxing the rest of my body. The rest of my body is going all the way down like this. So once I go forward, that's one direction. Now when you move these back, that's slightly different. You might need a little bit of coordination there, because you're still getting the lower part of your tummy with this one here. That is going to go round. You might hear a nod click. You can probably hear my hip clipping there. Or maybe I don't know which one it is. So that's forward. backward. Again, maybe you could do, the number would be 10 forwards, and then 10 backwards. And I'm doing these slowly, but I'm trying to get a full range of motion. You'd hear that being used a lot as well, range of motion. You see that written down sometimes as ROM, R-O-M. Okay, so the last one that I will do now are called toe taps. You just adapt a plank position and you tap one toe there and one toe there. You can do that with your arms straight, or a little bit more difficult is with your hands here. Now, like I said, you can put all your own modifications on these, and please put your own modifications on these. Make it simple, make it sustainable, make it consistent. Once you start building the consistency, it's like the squirrel saving. It's like he's saving the nuts for the winter. It's just compounding the interest. That's what it's doing. It's compounding all your exercise. And you can do this. I find it difficult some days. Like some days, even just turning up, that's a win. That's a win when you just turn up to training. That's a win when you're 60. I'll tell you that, right? Okay, so here we go, right? So the toe taps, you're like this. You're going to post this well here. So it's nice and solid body. Your bum is in the air, nice like this. You've got nice form, okay? Right, so you put out the leg one. Sorry. Okay, so you go one, and don't jerk it. Don't jerk it. One, bring it back. Two, nice and controlled. 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. If you want to make it more difficult, if you're strong there, you're here, but don't do it like this. This is sagging. This is a bit harder now, as it's harder there like this. So rather than doing something mad like this at the beginning, stay with the one that you have good form in, because you're teaching your body that good form there. You're teaching your body there. That's it. 10 of them is better than like maybe 6 of them all over the place there. All right, and I would call them toe taps. So I hope that helps. Now look, I haven't covered everything on this chart here. I didn't, for example, do Russian twist. There's a bit of technique involved in some of these. But if you can put some of this together and get your own program going, and just let me know in the comments how you're getting on. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed already, now would be a good time to go ahead and do that, because I'm going to put these together I'm going to put episodes together. Series 1 is going to be all about just beginner, start you off, beginner friendly. The next one I'm going to do a one on warming up, and I do another one on mobility and flexibility. Okay, just make sure as well that it's very safe. Make sure it's very simple, that you can do this easy, and make sure that it is relevant to your body. Those 3 things. Is it relevant to you, your ability, your body, and what your goals are? And that's all you need to do. I know we can get into SMART goals and this goal, but the main thing I want to emphasize, and I can't stress this enough, once you get a couple of weeks under your belt with a very, very basic program, if you did 4 of these and 6 of these, that's irrelevant. What's more important is that you do this twice a week. I'd go for twice a week for a whole month, and let me know. Frank, I did it for a month. Let me know, and keep on feeding into comments. I answer all the comments as best I can, and I'm also on Instagram. Check me out, because I'm into staying strong, eating well, and moving better. God bless.